we're just gonna start. I'll put Billy's name in a second. But yeah, thank you everyone that's tuning in right now. We're gonna start the state of Last Oasis podcast with Ms. Mitashi from SVG. Omni, I forgot your clan name. What was the clan name again?
BKO.
BKO. And I'm Mr. Dolphin representing TPG, and Billy is representing which clan was it again, Billy?
Retribution. Ret on the in game since they decided to stop the test and just let the servers go, and we didn't really plan for that ahead of time.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, let's touch on some of the topics. You guys want to do any quick introductions? Let's start with Mitachi. Do you want to introduce who you are and who you're representing?
Oh, well, hi, I'm Mitachi. I'm representing basically SBG. Usually people find me on Star Citizen, but I love survival games. I played a lot of Atlas with all you guys, actually. You know, it was really fun at one point in time. And now we're over on Last Oasis having some good times with a lot of cool people. That's it.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Dolphin. Everyone knows me from mostly Ark or Atlas. I've been doing the Atlas podcast for quite a while. Now we're here on Last Oasis. I'm one of the leadership members of TPG in Last Oasis. So yeah, it's been pretty fun so far. Omni, you know.
Sure. People call me Omni. Omni Kevka. I'm one of the members of BKO Blackout in Last Oasis. I played a fair amount of Ark. People know me from the Omni Empire there. I played with multiple groups, and I mostly have been survival games, but I play all types of games. RPGs, survival RPGs.
Billy?
Yeah. I'm basically the same. A lot of survival games, a lot of Ark, some Atlas when it resets, stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of us, even including Mitachi, have been around all the survival games as they come out. So now on to Last Oasis.
Yeah, perfect. Let's talk. I just wanted to touch really quickly on current wars. Although there isn't really any major wars going on, I think everyone's just fighting anybody that they just can fight. So I don't think there's any.
Mostly fighting the boredom of not having to burn, right?
Exactly. we're on our side.
Things will pan out when we start actually feeling the real game that most of us did in beta, right? Like this isn't the whole game yet.
No, I'm still trying to figure out all that stuff. But we mostly been fighting like a lot of people from like CSTG and things like that. They'll be messing with us, and it's been interesting. It's been pretty fun. So nothing on that. I haven't seen any like major, mega lions like Ark or anything like that yet.
They're slowly forming.
Yeah, they're slowly forming. I think we will see that at some point in the future, but I don't think anytime soon. So yeah, let's touch on what do you guys think about the current Walker balance, or like the overall balance in the game when it comes to melee and Walker PvP? Like, do you guys have any overall thoughts on it?
I do like that for the most part. Things do have their place. Like everything has its niche. I don't know all of them yet because I haven't really messed with all of them. But for the ones that I've used, they do fill a role.
Like what do you mean? Like for example, I've been using. We literally started using gas bombs like maybe like 2-3 days ago, and it's been so much fun. Like we were afraid of gas bombs. We ran into a fight where we had only a Falco and a Buffalo, and we were outnumbered by this other group that just kept coming down the hill. And what changed the fight for us was the moment we started using sulfur bombs, and that killed people in like
it definitely changes the scope of the battlefield. It makes it more interesting and dynamic to have that type of weapon. It's not overpowered, but it prevents people from just trying to camp a certain position too, so it's I like it. It's really dynamic.
Yeah, what do you guys think about like melee weapons? Like, is there any preferable melee weapons for you guys, or Because I've been sticking to
Sing Blade.
Sling Blade. Is that
Yeah.
what everyone
Yeah.
is using
Sing
now?
Blade seems to be the one.
But
I
I
like
fought
the
a
Sing
couple of
Blade.
dude with just the one-handed axe, and if you're good with the one-handed axe and you stay up in their face, the low tier one, not the high tier one, it is quite fast actually.
Also, isn't the I think the armor that's good against the Sing Blade isn't working correctly, which makes it extra good. Because there's one, I can't remember the name, but one of the armors is really good against the Sing Blade, but it's not blocking the appropriate amount or whatever stat that it's good against. So I think if that gets to be fixed, you'll see the Sing Blade do less and less. Also, as you get higher tiered armor, I think the Sing Blade will do less or less. Yes, it's fast, but it won't do as much damage later on as we get further into the tree with the iron and whatnot.
Yeah, I think some of the stats are wrong too. We've done some testing with things like the mallet, right, as a secondary weapon for close quarters, like what you guys are talking about. And even though it says like has attack speed 80, I feel like it's almost as fast as the hatchet is, like what you guys were talking with the bone hatchet. So there's different things there that I think are not quite specking right, and they're still very effective. So it'll be interesting to see like when Iron's released, if everything's exactly like it's supposed to be, or if it's like going to have a different meta to it. But right now, I think everybody really likes to use the Sing Blade. It's a good long range and mid range weapon. It doesn't feel quite as long as like the super bone sword, but it's definitely effective to put people down quick. I like it a lot.
Well, and the speed's really good in the lag, because basically in the lag, it's whoever swings first hits first. Because not many people block in the lag. You're just kind of spam left clicking.
Yeah,
so it's really good.
I'm surprised by how many people do not block at all.
Yeah, it's pretty hard in the lag. Like if you go to block and there's even the slightest bit of ping, you just get hit anyway. It doesn't really help.
Yeah, there's been many times where I'm blocking the right direction and I still get hit.
Yeah, Rupus are terrible about that. You block and they still hit anyway.
How about that like diagonal swing like the yellow Rupus have, you know, where you don't know if it's like overhead or the side or it looks like it switches? I get wrecked to that a lot because I can't tell the direction, especially if there's a lot of people fighting and one jumps in on us and stuff. And like they got weird animations. Sometimes they'll lag out if you got too many people on grid.
That's actually one of the first things I'd like to see them fix that's not an exploit. They need to fix the fact that if you zoom all the way out, you no longer see the directional indicator, so that you're forced to, if you like the further back, like if you like your camera to sit further back, then it's really awful because you're basically zooming in every time you get in a fight and then zooming out again when the fight is over. They need to fix that. That would be probably a very easy fix for them to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of camera angles and camera clipping too. I think that, you know, should be mitigated on some of the walkers. Like I don't really want to see inside my own face. That would be nice.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of stuff, and you know, of course, it's an early access game, and you're gonna get some of that because we're gonna have crazy different designs how we lay out the decks of our ship. But it'd be nice to like just have it where it blocks. You can't get that angle instead of like you're clipping into something because it gets really weird sometimes and it's hard to see.
Yeah, especially that spider. How do you like that spider?
Yeah,
the spider angle is the worst.
It's the worst. I keep clipping into it. I'm like, why am I on first person all of a sudden? It's like,
how about have you ever hit your inventory when you're on the spider? Like you've hit your inventory, it'll do like some weird GTA. I'm looking at the wheels back at myself angle. You're not even looking.
Yeah, I seen that.
It's like, yeah, I'm like, this is totally useless. I guess I can't move because I'm used to being able to pop my inventory open when I'm running or driving if I need to, and not on a spider.
Oh yes, I really love the spider. It's like such. I've been making spiders with ballista by mistake. I'm like, why can't I pack anything? Because
they're so good. And the reason I like the spider so much, it's not only good for big clans, right? To send out scouts, to be able to, you could work materials and stuff. You can set up stations even in a hostile environment. They're great for solos. They're great for small gang because you can survive, you can get in the mix, and you can like run up a wall or anything. It's one of the coolest vehicles I think in the game by far.
Yeah, it's I ran into at the beginning of the game. We ran into a few griefers on our tile that just kept coming with spiders and just trying to pick people off that were farming, and it was great. I couldn't chase them with a stiletto all the way because they would just like drive their spider all the way
just drive
to
in the woods and disappear. Like
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's great.
Plus, it's
I
hard
will
to
s-
hit somebody out of the spider too. Even if you mount it, you have to do a straight down, a straight downward hit to even get them out of the thing because they're just driving around like crazy.
Yeah, I will say, going back to your Walker question, I think that needs to be a little bit of balance around weight. I think the stiletto is too good, and some of the next tier are not good enough to warrant. I mean, like obviously more deck space for most of us just means a few more repeaters, but then the weight on a stiletto is like what 2 times that of even a buffalo, which seems a little weird. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not.
Yeah.
But it just makes the buffalo this weird like. Yeah, it's okay. It's really good not on the sand, so it's really good to use in the trees and things where a falco is really, really like terrible. But the weight is weird. Like the weight just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
But a stiletto's so good.
Buffalo 100% agree with you. It needs to be buffed. Now, the reason, and this is my theory, that they have the stiletto at such a high weight is because it's for small gang too, and it's something they don't need tablets to get into. But I agree. I think it's like exponentially large capacity compared to everything else. I would like to see the Buffalo go up into anywhere like maybe 5 or 6,000. I would like to
And
see everything
just
go
stacks
up
the
a little
back
bit.
wheels. Yeah, that's the great thing about the modules.
Mhm.
The Buffalo is supposed to be like an all-around thing, right? That at least
Mhm.
that's the description. But you can augment
Yeah.
with a couple of modules, get it to be what you want it. That's the one thing that I do like is
Sure.
some of the modules like Trampler's not working properly, right? We don't see a
Mhm.
lot of collision damage. But I do believe just like Forager the the lumberjack weren't working properly, and
Correct.
then whether they introduced it or they activated it, like we'll start seeing a lot of these modules a lot more useful than they currently are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the modules definitely make a difference, but I still think like the baseline weight of a because you also have the toboggan, which has good weight and is not behind a tablet wall. Like I don't, the stiletto is just
Yeah.
too strong for weight versus like the maneuverability and all the other things. I feel like just a little bit of weight off of that, even
Yeah.
if they don't buff the buffalo, just nerf the stiletto slightly, and you're good to go. Because the stiletto is still better objectively than like for instance, if you're on a falco and you chase a stiletto into a hard zone interior, that falco is screwed in the first 10 seconds. The first
Yeah, it's
tree it
not gonna
hits and
get
you're
in
not
there.
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still objectively better than
How many
both.
times did you try that before you figured that out? It's like
Several
It's like-
several
yeah.
times. But on the sand, but that's what I love about it. Like Omni was saying,
Yep.
that each one has a different role. Like on the sand, you're not getting away from a falco. It's just
No.
not going to happen.
No.
But then you fight a buffalo in the hills, and a falco's not nearly as good. That nose will hit things.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Are you
Yeah,
guys using hornets to any success other than just to ram things?
We haven't
it's
really
it's,
yet.
it's so bad. It's like
I
everyone
got,
that
we go ahead.
yeah, no, everyone that has made it on our clan is like, this thing is so useless. It's like, why bother? I don't know what it
We
needs.
basically.
I don't get why it says it in the description it's to chase worms. And maybe there's some special ability we're unaware of, but I don't see it. Like
There's
why
death
wouldn't you
worms
use
that are
why wouldn't you use
supposed
a
to come out.
falco? Why would I choose to use that over a falco chasing a worm? I just don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't have more HP. It's not faster. I
Well-
just don't understand I'm sure there's something there. I just don't know yet,
Yeah. Maybe the worm is like all about flipping your walker.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it does mention that the other one has a low center of gravity and it's
Mhm.
hard to tip over. But like, yeah, until that happens, we have guys who use it, but basically all they do is ram a falco and pull it up on his, off of its leg, and then try to
Yeah.
get up under it. And that's literally all it's good for. It's just to sit there and be
A
obnoxious.
car
to a
jack,
falco.
basically.
Yes, it's car
Yeah.
jack. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So what moving on to into the next subject. What do you guys think about the current packing system, packing and unpacking to spaces with this? Because this is for me that's so unique. There's like I never seen that on any survival game before. Just the ability to pack my base. I know it used to have a timer when it
Yeah.
first got released, but then they disabled that because of some exploit or dipping things was happening. But it's gonna come back, so that's probably gonna change how people are, making their
Absolutely.
base and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It needs the timer. Like, definitely
Yeah.
needs the timer.
Yeah, I missed the timer, to be honest. Even though it was because it created crazy moments in the game where you're stressed out. You're like, we gotta let it pack. We gotta hold the line so this thing can pack up before they get us. Or if you're on the other side, oh, we gotta hit that base before they pack it. And this time it's just blip and it just automatically, everything's got a base in it because it's instant. You got to crack open every single ship, no matter what. That's just how it is, and then drop their base instantly. And I don't know. I miss the timer. I do.
Yeah, I feel like the timer gave you options for play style. Like, yes, it gave you a choice. You had to pick which was the thing you were going to do. You could go ahead and, you could have a bigger base that had a longer timer, but you knew you had to protect it more.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could, like, it forced you into, what my big thing in all these games is risk versus reward. There was risk to your reward, depending on how you chose to build your base. Now it's just, there's no risk. It's just build it as big as I can build it to fit in my walker. I can carry as many boxes and crafting stations. At the first sign of somebody calling out anyone's in grid, you just upload the thing and safe log it, and there's no chance of ever, like, one of my biggest pet peeves currently is that there's no, there seems to be very little risk to the reward, so there's no reward either. Like, we were talking a little bit before we started about people attacking proxies, but proxies don't have enough reward even because you get no quality materials from proxies. You don't really get things that as like a bigger group would really want. Maybe broken fragments or something even would be good, because I feel like, I mean, we put up proxies and don't care at all about them. Yeah, it's nice for free repeater ammo, but like, we get no real long-term value out of it.
Yeah, I think it also depends how much your clan and how big your clan is at farming, though. You know what I mean? You're going to get a lot more reward out of a localized one if you're farming and you plan it. Like, we'll actually queue ours with the material I want. Like if I say I wanted 100,000 cattail, I'll put like 3 or 4 slots in there with one in it and just like have them farm it out there, and boom, it's done. And then you don't have to worry about it. Then you print out like 400 sets of armor or whatever you need. So I like the aspect I can control that. The thing we found, and we tested this, it's not doing the AoE claim, right? We're not getting materials from your territorial, like, around the other zones.
Yeah,
so
you gotta claim them all.
Yeah, you gotta claim them all. So I'm like, well, that's kind of lame, because one of the cool aspects everybody was looking forward to is if you have a claim to make it valued, if you get one of the event maps that pop up, you might get a percentage from that too, or you'll get something out of that, or there could be different things that make people compete for it. Now you have to put down a claim on every single node. It's kind of like, well, who wants to police that? I don't want to police every single node in the entire game to put it. It just seems silly.
And then you have to defend each one for an hour a day.
Right, and then you have to choose a time where your peak time, in which like some of these groups that have 20 or 30 out there, they're not going to be able to do every single node, which makes it kind of logistically a pain in the ass. It's like,
But it is quite beneficial. You can seed them with modules. You can seed them with Rupu gel and stuff.
Right.
And we've gotten a decent amount of resources by collecting like once or twice a day.
Exactly, because you can choose how you want it to flow in, and if you have a coordinated crafting team, you can really capitalize on it. If you just let it proc, it's probably a waste, because it's going to get filled up. Like, I'll go over there when people don't manage one of the claims or something, and it'll be like full of crap, like some rare resource where you're only going to proc 3 or 4 of, and then that whole slot's wasted. But if you need to do a big build, or you need a process, or you need a bunch of raw material or something, you could proc a whole row, and then you'll end up with thousands real quick.
Yeah, going back to the pack bases, we also, I think the timer on packing and unpacking a base is determined on how big your base is, right? So it's gonna take longer for someone to unpack or unpack their base, and I think that's gonna force people to maybe start putting some defenses. I'm not, because right now we're seeing, like, we're talking before this started, like, we're seeing people making like Ark style kind of bases, where like just make this massive amount of Rupu turrets, and that's gonna be irrelevant once the scourge starts happening. So I don't. And if you put a claim on top of that, I'm gonna know, okay, well, it's gonna take you forever to unpack your base. Pack your base and just retreat, because I know where your claim is. So it's kind of not beneficial to put a claim at all. Like, if you just want to stay off the radar,
it's
like
super
putting a claim,
situational, right? It's
Yeah.
super situational. I think you're going to see a huge reduction on claims by that point because people are going to be more inclined to like compete for event maps rather than I need to claim, like huge
Yeah.
swaths of land because it's just a waste of time. It's like,
Yeah,
are you really going
I
to
don't
jump
think
10
it's a
jumps
waste
that
of
way?
time though. A
Well, it
couple
depends
of
how big you
proxies
scale.
produce so much materials though that your guys don't have to farm.
Right, but
But
you
are you
don't.
going to jump 30 jumps to like all day long to go clean out
Oh
all the
no, those
proxies?
are abandoned.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Are you talking about like when the fire we have to move?
Yeah.
Then that just becomes like day one. There's a couple of things like if we know we've got these claims for 2 days, then day one you go, you spend a couple hours, you throw them out, and even if you can pull from the claim once or twice, it's worth the resources put in.
Yeah. I think also you're probably right in the respect that more people are going to farm even more whenever the burn happens, right? Because you're going to get people really competitive. They're going to lose stuff. We find like in any of the other zones around us, like in a medium zone from you talking to other people, if it's highly competitive, even if you're not policing it, the small clans in there are always farming resources to beat each other up. So they're making a huge amount of, bonus taxation or whatever you want to call it. So it's, you can get a lot of materials. It's just sometimes I think, when clans gather a whole bunch, I guess if you have a huge clan, you can facilitate that, or if they want to, but
It
going
does
to
take a
tons
lot
and
of
tons of them is a pain in the ass. So.
But it only takes one guy. The other night we had one person go, grab the proxies of like 5 or 6 proxies and bring it all home. It may have taken him some time, but the amount of resources that he brought home is more than a group would have gathered in that whole day.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you got people that want to do that, sure. I mean, you got to facilitate the gameplay your clan members are willing to do.
Well, and we also don't have that much else to do.
Right,
like I
right
think
now.
as you see the world begin to move, you're going to have people out scouting. You're more likely to have people get hit. You're not going to have time to sit around with your wang in your hand looking at proxies. Like you're going to have work to do as a group.
Think of all the small groups and medium-sized groups that are going to be constantly migrating, right? Because they don't have a house, so they're always going to be moving, even outside of the burn, because they're just kind of getting pushed from one zone to another. They have to group up, and that's. I'm sure you're going to talk about it, but that's why I'm desperate for an alliance system in game, even if it's just, hey, I can see my friends' tags. That would be nice.
That's I think they did mention they want to do an alliance system, but we just don't know when they're gonna do
We haven't heard anything about it yet. They said during beta that they said there was plans to do something, and it doesn't seem like they do anything super intricate because based on our current permission systems, which are still, please fix some chats. I would be happy even just if it was name identification. Like if I could just see my allies at the same range as I see my friends, I'd be fine with that for starters. Anything would be good. Right now, it's problematic. You spend time policing zones, and half the time you're chasing down people rather than policing people that shouldn't be in your grid.
That's one of the biggest problems we've been running into. Like we have renters in some of our tiles, and it's like we have to make a spreadsheet. Okay, this is their
100%.
cell color, this is their name, this is their symbol.
And how much do PvPers like looking at spreadsheet? I'll tell you, it's
that's the problem. Yeah, so it's like
it's like, oh, check the spreadsheet. I ain't looking through the spreadsheet crap. I just want to murder somebody. It's like,
that sounds about right.
Then don't have allies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah.
In a game like this, they're less useful than in some games like Ark or Atlas because still to this moment, it's pretty safe. Like, yes, there's Zergs. Obviously, some of us are part of small to medium sized Zergs or bigger, but like realistically, I can just avoid your Zerg. Currently, that may not be the case once the timer on basis goes back, but I can currently just ignore you, go play something else for 20 minutes till you get bored and come back. Like, it's not that big a deal.
Yep, that's about right. So what do you guys think about the defensive tools that we have at the moment? I know like there's like so much raiding tools like bombs and saws, chainsaws, and things like that. Like, is there any specific thing that you want to see when it comes to like defense? Because you're nomadic, you're moving all the time, but like all you have for defense is
a group who's on a tower and pack and unpack it. That's pretty messed up.
Well, they've fixed that, so you can't pack the Rupus anymore. But see, it's not really a fix because what do people do? They just hold all the mats for it. They throw down their tower instantly and just slap
it's not instant.
Rupu on it, and like, there you go. They're so cheap to make. I mean, people don't care if they waste them. So,
for me, I think one of the things that I'm not sure if maybe this wasn't working for us or something weird, but for us, if we put a repeater down on, let's say, a base, it wouldn't pull ammo out of the ammo box on the base.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so we did this dumb workaround where we made fireflies, stuck repeaters on fireflies with
There
ammo
you go.
boxes. It was stupid, but like, it feels like if you just
It's
let
not
me
stupid.
put
It's
the
called
ammo box.
creativity.
Well, it's stupid that we had to do it. Like,
Yeah.
just let me take the ammo box and put it on
You
the
could.
base. Like, that doesn't make
I
sense.
agree that that's lame, but you can put an ammo box next to the repeater, and then have the person on the repeater just grab a bunch in his inventory
Yeah.
and fire.
I mean, yeah, but that's like,
That's a little bit
Oh
risky,
no,
though.
I agree that it sucks, but that was our workaround for it.
Yeah.
But I do want to see.
I feel
does
like
anyone
it's
have a Titan that, like, with the crane, or does anyone have a crane? I'd love to see how the crane works, like with fireflies or spiders with ballistas.
Well, I know in beta it didn't work because it used to work earlier in beta where you could pick up like spiders and stuff, but they nerfed that. The devs did it at that time. So now it's like they just snap off. You'll pick them up for 20 seconds. They didn't want to make us, they didn't want to let us have aircraft carriers.
That's what I was hoping for. I
Yeah.
saw, I was like, carrier
Yeah.
ship?
I want a
Let's go.
carrier. That'd be
I'd
killer.
love to see a
Yeah, I
carrier
know.
walker. That would be.
I would like the crane to do more than just pull a tree down. I think that would be cool. But
It
apparently,
says pull a firefly.
I know it. Well, there's a lot
It
of
did. It
descriptions,
did
if
during
you
the
haven't
beta.
noticed, there were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did it one time, and then it was like it might still be able to pick up fireflies, but I can confirm during the last phases it would not pick up a spider. You can
I
pick
mean,
it up
even
and
if
it would
it's a
snap.
firefly, it's kind of, it's got more build space, so you
I
can't.
think it'd be hilarious to see put
on it
like
and
50
stuff.
cranes on a Titan to see nothing but fireflies coming to the grid would be amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of silly that you can't really pack the towers because like it's kind of a pain having to remake. Like if you make a bunch of towers for defense,
The defense towers.
yeah, the actual big defense towers. I kind of
Yeah.
wish I could pack those, but then
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see people kind of abusing that because they just put up defense towers, repeaters, or maybe Rupus links in the future.
Right.
That would be a little bit broken.
Yeah.
That ain't like.
and
Hold on, and there's like no like foundation radius, right? Like the thing is like you can place a foundation next to someone within 3 foundation radius. That's like kind of crazy, right? Because I could just build a Rupus lane literally in front of someone's base if I wanted to.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know the meta for destroying proxies right now. You just literally build a ballista right next to it and then fire.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
do
I'm doing
fires. You don't need a ship. You don't need anything. You literally just, like, I mean, there's the fight for it. Like, we just took out TC's main proxy on their main base. We lost some ships. The fight's still going on, actually. So we'll see who, if they actually get their tile back at the end of the day. But I mean, well, we actually, I'm not sure if we used it on that one because I was fighting on the ships, but their proxy's down. But a bunch of proxies, what we did in the last couple of days is we just built a ballista right in front of it and then just, fired it. You could do it with with a spider, just run up to something, drop a ballista, and
Do you think they
take
should
out proxy.
do you think they should have like a foundation range thing, like an Arc or Atlas, where you can't just place a foundation next to someone with a certain radius? Because right now it's just three foundations, right?
That's a hard call, right? Because what we see happen in Atlas the minute like we went
Foundation
through that,
spam,
it's like
right?
yeah, foundation spam, which then you get no frames, and then we go back to all that crap.
No, we're already at no frames. I don't know if you guys have been in some big wars, but this last war was terrible. Like,
Yeah, but I mean it'd be
enough
worse, right?
ships and everything. Like, you're just, it just makes you swing away even more because blocking's gonna be
It's
crap.
bad, I'll give you that, but it's not Atlas bad. Like Atlas bad, it was like literally I'd get one frame every
like
5
5
seconds
frames.
sometimes. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's good, but everything in this game, the fact you can log off ships or put them on the wall and stuff, it helps even large clans mitigate the frame rates to a degree anyway, so that I like that. I'm kind of anti-foundation spam, but I also don't like the idea that I don't think you should be able to put all the weapons in the ground. I know they added that. I just think maybe you should have to put them on structure. Maybe the foundations alone, just those pieces, maybe have to be so far apart or some mechanic like that. But I'm always afraid of foundation spam because it was so terrible in Atlas. I just don't want to go back to those days.
Yeah, I don't want to go back to that either. But I'm almost, like I said, I'm not a big fan of being able to place a ballista literally in front of someone's claim because that's just like.
I think it should just be ship mountable or building mountable and just call it a day, maybe something like that.
Yeah, but by the time, if I'm able to walk up and place a ballista and then stand there and shoot flame arrows, you've already lost anyway.
Right.
Like
Well,
if
the
I'm
thing
able to
is-
just stand there
True,
with no response, then you've lost.
The thing is like even distraction. Like we've had fights where like they're out fighting ship battles, but no one's on their proxy, and so then but we have like one guy on their proxy, and because they're vulnerable, but no one's actually like they're on tile, they're just not aware, that someone's sitting there destroying their proxy. So it's situational awareness as well.
Yeah,
Right?
but I mean,
If you
again,
got them
that
distracted.
yeah, you're right. But again, that's like that's on them. That's not on the fact that you
Right.
can put.
If you have so
something
many
next to their
properties and you
proxy.
don't know that 1 hour window when your stuff's vulnerable, you can't watch it. I'm kind of like, I don't feel bad for it.
True.
Yeah, I feel like that's just comes down to prioritizing. Like, yeah, it's more fun to be out in the desert and PvPing. Like, no doubt about it. That's the most fun I've had this game is walker battles. But if your proxy is vulnerable, you got to have somebody watching it, or else decide you don't give a crap and you'll just rebuild it when they're done. Like, that's fine too. It's not that expensive to be honest.
Yeah, I'm more worried about that. I'm more worried about the proxies being so insignificant, like because people just let them get destroyed and then they're just whatever. I want them to matter enough, not just for taxation, but there's a reason behind it. Like maybe if your proxy gets destroyed, maybe you can't pin a new one down for 24 hours as the clan that originally owned it, or something like that. So it makes them want to defend it, or some mechanic like that.
The two things I would like to see are quality resources be gathered up to a certain point, not all the way to 80. Obviously, I don't think it should be that easy because that only benefits larger clans. But if you even got quality up to, let's just split it in half for the sake of the argument. I haven't really thought this through all the way, but let's say 40, then at least you have some quality coming in, whatever the quality may be, and it benefits you to do that. And then I would like to see them I don't think they should do tablets, and I don't really think they should do fragments, but if they did the broken shards, that then you had to go and, again, you go and put them together again with glass, at least there's an activity that you're using to get fragments that's not like one for one. And it just adds a little something to benefit you on your proxy. And then the second thing is I don't think your clan should benefit from the 20% on top or whatever the percentage is on top, because currently if you're gathering, you're getting the percentage of that as well in your proxy. So if you gather, you're getting basically 120%. It's not only other people in your grid.
I kind of like that though.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'm sure you like
When our dudes are out on 10
That's a good long term.
and I'm just pulling all that out. It's nice.
So you want it only to be for the other people in your grid, not the people?
Here's why. Like right now, let's say the 120%. Do you really care if there's 5 solo players farming in your grid? It's not really worth it to have like
if they're killing my people,
there.
yes, but
no, but I mean like
there are alarm systems for me. It lets us know when there's griefers on.
Yeah. But for the farming itself, it's one of those things like there's a lot of tiles that are full of just your clan. Not you guys specifically, but in general, there's a lot of tiles where, so it's like there's no incentive to let other people be in your tile. And I'm not saying that's enough of an incentive, but it may help on certain occasions to say, listen, it's actually beneficial because we're currently not making any use of our proxy. And it would force bigger clans to say, let's just spread out a little more. And that's what the game needs. It needs less of the Zerg because the Zerg actually doesn't really work that well in this game anyway. I think we'll see less and less Zerging because it just doesn't really do much unless the proxy becomes important. Like people come in Arizona all the time, go to the proxy, realize it's like, it's not really worth the time to fight through this stupid proxy. Let's just go ship fight in the desert. And that's what it happens over and over again. We don't even go to bases because most people have all their good stuff in a boat or in a walker that's uploaded. It's just not worth it. Like why waste materials to get into their crafting stations? It's just not usually worth.
Yeah, so you crack open a crafting station. It's like, whoa, oh great, I have 20,000 more wood. What am I going to do with this?
Exactly. And even the best crafting stations are on walkers uploaded. Yeah. That's another thing. What do you guys think about some way to make people who own proxies not be able to maybe upload in the grid so many boats or something? Like, so, I don't have the right answer here. But
I'm not against a ship cap, but I think a lot of people in my organization and other large ones would lose their mind.
That could be
I like that there's no caps on tribe. There's no caps on ships. It was extremely limiting in Atlas. The small amount that I played for like a month or two before I said fuck this game.
I don't think there should be a cap. That's not what I mean. What I mean is as a group on a tile that I have a proxy on, I literally can just upload everything if I'm worried, and nothing is at risk ever. So I can own the tile with no risk to my reward, other than okay, I might lose the proxy. So is there a way that they could enforce or force me as the owner to spend, like to put more risk to my reward by having to have more, either less things I could upload when I own the tile, or something of that nature? I don't really have the answer here, but there's just no risk. Like I can just, all of us in our group, and our group is smaller than a lot of groups, just all our good stuff's on somebody's walker. It's always uploaded. We never pull it out unless we're sure we're safe. And it feels weird. It feels like there's no risk here.
Yeah, to a certain point. I mean, I guess the biggest problem Donkey Crew has is they're trying to scale the game for both the individual, the small gang, and then the large clan. And it's so dynamic. Like if you do one mechanic that affects like a larger group, that's really screws the 10, 20 man gang. You know what I mean? Because you want to make it to where even a group that's like 10 or 20 people can hold a claim and have a chance. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if you give all the mechanics to let them have relative safely doing that, the large clans 100% going to take advantage of that. So
yeah, for sure.
I always try to think of every mechanic in that way. Something that might piss me off where I'm like, God, this is frustrating. I think about, but that one guy who's by himself, who's chased by 20 people through a grid, if he can make it to the woods and he can safe log off, he's good. You know what I mean? So he's not just getting wrecked if he uses good tactics and uses the mechanics in hand. So it's one of those things where I don't know what the right answer is, but I hate to say ship limits, but I don't know how else to fix it other than do that, either for certain clans or like you're saying, for like if you own the grid, you can have so many per grid based on your proxy or something like that. But then people just wouldn't use proxies. They'd be like, I'll just live here and just deal with it, and I'll put proxies everywhere else, and my clan will just have all the ships uploaded here. You know, it's like people will find ways to circumvent.
Yeah, I know a couple groups that aren't, their main tile doesn't have a proxy, just so that like they're not targeted, and they have proxies elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they just live nomadic, like the game enables them to, right? So,
but you can't, like to Hillbilly's point, like you guys are playing smart, right? You guys are playing it smart, and so. But that's like from your perspective of like, well, look at, playing it from a power gamer, perspective, this makes low risk. Well, you created the low risk. I can't tell you how many, like you too, I've seen your streams, like how many bases you guys roll up on. And that's probably their main base. Today unfortunately, we didn't get the main base because a call was changed for targets. But we had a large base, in a toboggan, and I was standing on it. Unfortunately, we let it go because we were doing things elsewhere. But like people do leave ships out that have big ships, so you can still catch them off guard, right?
Yeah, you can. There's ability to, and they have combat timers that prevent you from insta packing things and doing stuff like if you pursue a ship to the edge of the grid. If you keep a guy on it, they can't log out, or if you do combat damage, they can't log out right then. And I like all those mechanics and stuff, but you're right. I mean, always the bigger groups are going to try to exploit the mechanic, not cheats necessarily, but exploit the mechanics that they provide for what's intended probably for smaller gangs and solos. So
talking about certain mechanics, how you guys liking those javelins?
I think the idea is like, if you had like 20 guys throwing a javelin, maybe that can sort.
I thought it was like they wanted us to have some sort of RP Olympics where we're just throwing them for fun or something, And it's like
you guys have seen what they do, right? You know what we're talking about?
Knock over the whole thing.
They send a boat. They send a walker flying if you hit the wheel, like if you hit the leg.
Yeah. First time I did that, I was playing around and I knocked down one of our proxies. I was trying to kill one of the root crew that got caught in the wheel, and I chuck it, and the whole thing goes. I'm like, wow, man, I'm feeling good right now. I must be strong, It's like it's crazy. Yeah, there's all kinds
knock
of
over
physics.
A whole fleet, like someone's big ship that's fully manned to knock it over, or knock them out of a trade area. Right now, last night, there was some dudes who, they got away and they went into the trade area, and lo and behold, a few minute later, they were able to be attacked again.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys
on that?
Yeah. Well, I do want to talk about the trading station, but what do you guys think about the new Walker that's coming out? The looks like a scorpion kind of thing, like has the
Yeah,
driver's seat
gonna
covered.
have to gonna have to feel it and see where it applies, right? Or
Yeah.
the whole dynamic thing.
Like
It looks like it's really good for maybe smaller groups or individuals too. You know, because you got that full driver coverage or whatever.
yeah,
So let's see how it rolls. You know.
yeah.
I expect it to be like really good for solos. I'd
I
like
hope it
to
doesn't
see
cost
where
tablets. Yeah.
it goes into
Oh
combat.
my god. If it's meant for solos, it shouldn't cost tablets.
Yeah,
I
it
mean, let's
shouldn't.
be honest. I mean, that's just not fair.
So, what do you guys think about? So, I'm gonna touch on the trading system. What do you guys think about the current trading system, and like any overall thoughts about it? Like, do you think it needs to be improved, or is there anything you don't like about it? Because I personally like the idea of, because I have like maybe like close to 100K in flots, right? Like I
Yeah.
like the idea of like solo players. I think I see a lot of players, not solo players or small groups, not fully utilizing that, because you can pretty much just rebuild an entire walker through a trading station. And
You know
things
what
like
I'd
that.
like to see with the trading system? I would like to see zones that are neutral zones where people could trade. I think that would foster the trading system, like certain hexes that are completely neutral, and it might
Right.
be more interesting because there's no way most small groups or gangs are going in some of these zones and making it out alive if people police it, which I think is kind of either way. And then I see people that just go around with forger modules, gather up all the cattail or everything to do, and then they're millionaires.
I
Mhm.
love
You know
it.
what I mean?
It's so
So it's
fun.
like
Yeah.
it's just so easy to exploit with the AI metric in there and stuff, even if people aren't actually doing trades. I just don't know if it's super relevant. I'd like to see it be more relevant in some way.
I mean, people want to sell their modules, the super, like, what should be super expensive and extremely valuable, like PvP modules. Like,
Yeah.
we're swooping up Life Force, Armory, like all these things for high tier, things later on, and for pennies on the dollar. And who cares? You're right. Who cares about money when I can go sell, crap load of corn and cattail that I'm getting for free out of the proxy, or 30,
Yeah.
less than 30 minutes on a forager ship, and
Right.
then I'm making hundreds of thousands, and changing that for, very, very rare and expensive modules. It's cool.
I want to be able to sell walkers or maybe walker parts on the trading station. Like we have so many useless tier 1 walkers from the beginning. I'm like, it's in my garage. Either I have to leave it on the open and let it scorch happen eventually, or if I had the option to sell it, that could help some small group solo player that has floats. Be like, hey, so
It
thingy
could.
that
I
could
could
buy.
also see exploits from that though already that I'm sure the devs thought of, like as far as like giving permissions to other people to have walkers or sell them to each other. You know, logistically, like say for instance, I could jump across the entire map, and then you just they sold them all for one float to me. Now I have a whole armada, and I supplied 70 people to that grid. I can see all kinds of weird stuff. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of
Yeah.
mechanics that I've done in other games that I think that's probably what makes the devs cautious. I like the idea of being able to sell them, but I could also see some huge exploits stemming from that would ruin it.
There were already some exploits with the trade station that they luckily fixed.
Right.
I do have to give props to these devs. They're constantly fixing exploits or cheating mechanics, and it is one of their big focuses.
Yes.
Rumor is that they held off on the content patch to be able to fix the speed hack. I don't know. I say rumor because I haven't seen a blue post or anything.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, big props to these guys.
Yeah. They're definitely
sure.
doing it the right way. I like them. Like the way they
I like the way
manage
they're
everything
pushing it.
along.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would
mean,
like to see the trader have more uses. Like I
Yeah.
think later in the game, as more and more people have more and more tablets, it's going to end up being good for smaller groups who maybe have struggled for tablets, because then you can just sell your tablets.
Right.
Like the larger groups will sell tablets, but like right now, it's basically just like Omni said, you just go out and grab a billion cattails, sell them, and then once you have your walker upgrades that you care about personally, like if you're going to do your 5 walker upgrades, and I think it seems as though they might add higher tier walker upgrades as well as higher tier quality over time. It seems like that's capped on purpose and waiting for content patches. But I think that later on, I think the market actually really benefits smaller players in this case. I think they've done a good job of making it where obviously people like us are going to farm cattails all day and then buy whatever little things we need. But in the process, we're also selling a bunch of crap that we don't care about as much, which is actually really good for someone who may not have 50 people farming all day and a proxy to sit aside and
100%.
grab resources from.
Also, though, like from a larger tribe perspective, there's been a couple times now where having someone with a bunch of money and like we just finished a battle, we're low on bandages, like we need repair mats. We roll up to the shop. I buy all the aloe. Why not swoop up a couple modules, and whatever materials we need quickly in large amounts, and then all of a sudden we've got a couple hundred bandages again. We've got the materials to repair some ships without having to farm. So they've done it where there's multiple ways to do the same thing, and I do like it.
Yeah, I've been using it to just buy spiders when I go scout, and just like use the spiders, I can just travel from one end to the other. So it's been pretty useful. I do want to be able to find my walkers though. Like every time I go to the world map, I'm like 500. We were talking about that before the podcast. We were like 500 walkers that crashes my tile all the time, crashes my game because I can't. I'm looking for a specific walker. So so a search function on the world map would be really nice.
I'd just like if the guild search for names worked too, because I'll look for a guild member and I'll try to type their name in a little search. It never works for me ever. Any of the player name search never works. For me.
Yeah. That's
I don't know if it's just me or not, but I'm just saying that's been a huge problem for me. It's like, oh, it's Eddie so and so. I'm like, okay, ED, and I get nothing. I'm like, I type out the whole name perfectly, or does it do a name sort, or like that'd be nice.
Yeah. Even being able to sort by online players would be nice, just so it'd make the search a little easier.
Yeah, I'd like to alphabetize anything. Like, I'll throw me a bone.
Yeah, just give me anything. Anything but nothing, please.
I'm not greedy, man. I just want anything that says permissions and mechanics, and I'll be happy with it. I know they've done a great job. There's just some small tweaks with things that would be great. Quality of life stuff.
Talking about the quality of life stuff, what do you guys think about like the current map or any future map? Like, is there anything specifically you want to see? Because right now the hard map just feels too good for everything. Like, I barely go visit medium maps unless I'm farming Drupal gel or frags sometimes. Like, do you think
talking quality of life stuff? I need names for boxes or paint, something. Right now we've got like a group of people that are just literally sorting all the time, and it's a huge logistic nightmare.
That's a double-edged sword, though, unless they put a name filter on there. I'm going to tell you right now. Just selfishly, as a content creator, it's like always got to worry when I was in Atlas or something else with names, right? Like big billboard that'll say some against toss crap on it or something, So I'm always worried about that.
Yeah,
so
I mean that does suck, but
yeah,
I mean for the large community, and then that's something that we just have to police,
Yeah.
But like right now, the amount of time and energy spent like sorting because we don't, and I have to open up. I know I'm not just the only one, but I'm opening up 10 boxes to find one thing.
Oh, I agree. I have no idea where anything is in my entire tile. It's like I'll be running around rock. Where's the rock at? And there's like 20 boxes of rock, but I have no idea where they are. So it really. I love naming conventions, but again, it's not so much the fact I'm worried about my guys doing something weird with the names on that. I'm worried about like you log on, and then because there is no build distance like we talked about earlier, they can just put a billboard sign right in the middle of your yard right there. It's like it says whatever it wants, whatever racist thing they can, whatever special name and all that crap. That's what will happen, because that's what happened in all the other games. I'm just like, a sigh.
Yeah,
at least in this game, it tells you on the building structure which member did it, so you can at least know.
Well, if it's your stuff.
Yeah, you can go
it shows enemy as well. You can see.
Yeah, you can go hunt down the enemy, but that's what they want anyway, right? They just want so it's like, oh yeah, I'm that guy. I'm the billboard guy.
I got a quick question. Has any of you made any of the, like the iron? I don't think we can make any Nibirian weapons right now, even though it requires Nibirian crystal, which we can farm, but we can't really use it for anything. It just requires iron for some reason instead of like Nibirian.
It might have the crafting aspect turned off in that right now. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Did you see the post about the quarry?
Yeah, like it was supposed to give you iron, but now it doesn't anymore. So
I don't know. I think it's something specific to the nodes, but I think it's not in the loot table. like you can get it from the rare drops, but I'm thinking you're not able to pull it naturally, even though it's a rare drop from the ground or the rocks, maybe.
Right.
So, because all my guys have only got it from killing yellow rupu for the most part.
Yeah, that's
it.
pretty much how we've been getting iron. Like we were thinking about putting a quarry, but I think just we're better off just making tools.
Yeah, after I saw this response from the
You guys have
devs here, I was like, I'm not gonna mess with it right now.
I've heard people have a quarry because of an
yeah.
exploit with the trade station being able to duplicate iron and stuff, but we don't have a quarry or lumber mill going yet.
Yeah, there's, if you didn't see it, I'll give you the clip after the show. Somebody actually had a conversation with one of the devs showing the image of their quarry, showing the fact they ran it for 24 hours and they used 250,000 torque in it running it, and they got 0 iron out of it. And that's why they posted that. And then the dev just respond working as intended. So I don't think you're supposed to be able to get iron even off natural, just off the rocks and ground right now. Because we were hoping also that if you use those type of resources, maybe it would be a rare drop out of the rock, right? Like for every so many thousand rock you mine, maybe you get 1 piece of iron. Like it works in other games that way. But I haven't seen it yet, so.
You mean kind of like Earthwax is, where you
right, except just more rare, than that. So
yeah.
But no, I haven't seen it yet. And I mean, my guys go through literally hundreds of thousands of rocks, so I can pretty confidently say it's not in the rock.
Yeah, I mean, they also said that they're going to be adding some new maps too, like one. So, but right now, my biggest gripe is like the hard map is just too good for everything. Like ideally, I want to see, how like at the beginning, before they open hard maps, we were all chill on the medium maps, just spraying on everyone. But once we move out of the medium maps into the hard maps, that allow a lot of the small groups and the solo players to play catch up, because we were like harassing their grid, their tiles, because they were medium.
Yeah.
So like,
I would like to see them. Sorry, Dolphin interrupt. No, I would like to see them to remove almost all fragments from hard maps. So you have to go to medium zone. You have to use your zone to get the fragments, and you have to go the other for the temples. And even
a lot of our guys already do that just because of the quantity.
Yeah,
you get more quantity there. But I'm just saying, if you made it like more ecosystem like that, I think there's 2 other resources you get from mediums that you can't get in hard. One of them's thornberries, which is like whatever, right? But yeah, I agree. If they mix up the resources, it'd be better a little bit. But I think they're going to add a bunch that are going to be mixed up.
I would like to see like new map that has maybe another type of resource that we must have to keep progressing on Tech 3,
right?
Like iron, yeah. But I also want to see
the new event maps will have iron. Will have probably a new fruit or veggie or some.
Right, but those are event maps though. They'll only be there for like a few hours. Supposedly, I do want to see maybe a map that starts with quality 20, for example, like or like people that need to play catch up. Maybe those maps, that new map starts with a specific quality resource. So literally every tree, or like there's a higher chance of those trees starting with like maybe quality 20, quality 30 plus and above. Like I want to see something that I
like the hunt for quality myself. I kind of like the fact it's like that.
But what I'm saying is like I want to see us having to large groups moving into a very hard map, for example, and like we move there, and that allows the smaller groups or solo players to move into the hard map and then play catch up, and then they add more maps that allows the smaller groups to just catching up to the bigger groups.
What if you could sell quality? Because you were talking about the trade post. What happens if you could farm that and sell that down? Because I don't know about you guys, but anything like when you go below 20 and 10 after you have a whole crafting core building stuff up, it doesn't really matter. It's there for certain things, but you could sell a lot of that stuff as a mass thing to other people out there.
Agreed. You should definitely be able to sell quality materials.
It helps out the little guy and everything, that'd be kind of.
I don't like the idea of forcing. I don't like the idea of fragments being only in medium zones. Right now, we send people there to do it, but they basically just take a dinghy or a spider or whatever, and they kind of do it on their own, and they're not looking to kill everybody there for their fragments anymore.
Yeah.
But if you had to go to medium zones, I already know what we would do personally. We would all go over there and dump on everybody in the medium zone and take all the fragments. Yeah. I think I would much rather.
That's kind of what everybody does at the temples now, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but at least
that's actually a good question. Do you guys let people use your temples in your different clans?
Yes.
Depends. Like if
Specific
if it's a
people and
renter,
specific ones. Yeah.
yeah. If it's a renter, it's on our list. Yeah, that they have to ask permission to use the artifact,
Yeah.
depending on what tile they're on. So yeah.
If it's not
Yeah.
if it's not a home grid with a bunch of our people in it, like I don't have a problem with it. You know, some people I'd rather people ask permission just because you get so many randoms that come in there and they'll kill all the other people like they're in there if you're not policing it really well. You know, I like people to ask permission and stuff, especially if you certain areas if they came into any of our other grids and we like some people like give us a portion of something or something like that, which is just that's fine if they want to do that. But other ones, I don't care as long as they're behaving. You know, if they're being dicks, then nah, they ain't gonna be in there.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah, I was
usually,
gonna say, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, usually like we just like if I see a cell color that's not on the spreadsheet because we can't use an alliance system yet. If they're not on the
Right.
list, they're like, okay, it's getting wiped. Like we just wiped them, or we're just like, hey, you want to be a
Yeah.
renter? We just put them in a tile that we rent. So, but
Yeah.
This is the first game ever that I've allowed anyone personally in whatever I'm doing to ever get away with staying on a map I live on. Like in every other game, there was no reason to do so. Even if they try, even like in Atlas, when they tried to make it, it was better just to take another island and stick them all over on the other island and not have to have them
Right.
on your island. But like in this game, I'm like, I don't care. It's walkers. Like all your quality is and all your good stuff is sitting on a walker. You're not really in danger. They're not really endangering you. And you know, I'm actually impressed that in this game, more and more people like we have a ton of solos who come around every once in a while to bar the temple that we've gotten to know, and that's
Mhm.
never happened in another game like this for at least for me personally.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. One of my issues is usually when groups want to come in, you'll get 10 or 15 guys that want to come in and do that. We don't have room, to be honest. I can't log it if I'm locking membership out of like one of our grids, then I feel like a dick, and so that's why we have other zones we'll send them to. And as long as they're chill, they're good. But if they come in my home grid and I got 15 guys waiting in queue, they're gonna be pissed because I got all these guys farming in there. So we're nice about it. You know, I don't wipe them instantly. We usually interact a little bit and stuff. But you know, if they're dicks and you pull up on them, they're like "F you." Yeah, you just clean them out and just move them on. It's that easy,
Yeah.
you know?
Thanks for your
You know?
tablets or whatever you got.
Yeah,
Appreciate
exactly.
that.
If
Get
you're
out.
chill, if you come in as a solo, I do not like griefing people. If you come in as a solo or something like that, and you're like, "Hey, man, sorry, just passing through," or whatever, I don't care. I'll let you go. But if you come in and mess with our guys, yeah, you go on the list, and you're just gonna get messed with all the time. Then, so
Yeah.
easy mode.
yeah, I think it'd be an easier. I have an easier time with people coming into my grid once I'm able to see my allies. Like if
Right.
I need that alliance system so I can actually see my renters and not having to attack my renters by mistake.
Yeah.
As I add more tiles and get more renters, I know who is who, and that way I'm not
Right.
blowing up someone's renter,
But-
some renter by mistake.
With the ally system, does that mean that Rupu towers won't hit them? You know, can we still set it to where
Well-
we can see their names from afar? You know, but
But
I don't want allies getting close to my shit. You know what I mean?
right.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
I died to friendly fire from my own Rupus links, so they're not that smart anyway.
yeah. I mean, if you're moving, you can avoid almost every Rupu tower.
Yeah.
Honest, anyways.
Do you guys like the 15 ammo count on it? Like, do you think it's too low? And like how easy it is to drain them? Because
have
we
loved
attack. Hold on, we attacked
Yeah.
a base last night that had like maybe like 40 Rupus links spread out, and I just ran
Mhm.
naked and drained literally all of them while we were fighting in the middle of the fight. Just went in, went forward,
Yeah.
drain, died again, drain. It was like kind of useless. Like it's not that great.
Yeah, I don't see the ammo count is really relevant. I think the tracking is probably a bigger issue for him for most of the time. But I think that's always going to be an issue there. But I don't want him to insta track either, right? I don't want him to just
Like an
Stop
arc.
somebody. I
You don't
like
want it
the
to be like an
dynamic.
arc turret. Yeah.
right, exactly. I like the aspect that you can sit there and then you'll actually, when you're moving around and you're doing stuff, it's like if the guy stops to engage somebody, he's probably gonna get waxed. But if he's moving, he's being tactical about it, he has a chance to get out of there. So I like that balance in him. The fact that people just run around and drain them, I guess if they want to, that's fine, as long as they don't raise the cost of ammunition or the turn to like some incredible level. It
I
doesn't
mean,
really matter.
The cost with all the the Rupu pelt, again, you can go to a shop and buy 2K Rupu pelt, right? and be able to make 1,000 ammo. But I'm maybe a little bit higher of ammo like storage, just so that the amount of effort that you put in to build the structure and everything. But I also do like the fact that, you know, it is a melee game. It does get drained out, you know, fairly quickly, and then
Mhm.
it comes down to, you know, the combat, right? Not this, you know, thing of just because I've, you know, farmed enough or I had enough of these things that there's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's going to take that much longer for you to even want to engage me.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between it's too obnoxious to run around naked to drain them all, and there's too much ammo in there, and now it's not worth even trying to do the attack anymore because they're too good. Like with the
Yeah.
like, what's the number where I decide, screw this, man, I'm not sitting here for another 30 minutes running these things out of ammo. Maybe 50. I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure that if you find that number where most people, there'll always be the rare exception of people who'll stay there all day naked and do it. But like, again, if you have a main base and somebody's just running around naked, taking all your Rupu turret ammo and you don't notice, that's a bigger problem than the Rupu problem. That's your problem that you need to deal with. And
Do you think
make sure somebody's checking.
do you think they should have like anti-climb walls? Like that's something I really like when I used to play Conan. Like there was anti-climbing. So like especially in a game that's so melee, like I want to be able to put some anti-climbing walls or something like that to prevent people just jumping into my main and just storming me that easily. Like kind of force them into a choke if I can't.
I don't know when you have grapples and gliders and everything else in the game. I don't
Right.
know if that really would work.
Would be kind
I
of
think
pointless,
there's
yeah.
build limitations that really prevent you from going too high with a base anyway that would be able to circumvent that. Because I can spin myself up an incredible amount of height now, so I think I could go over most things. I'd like to see different defense things, and if they want to stick with a Rupu thing, it'd be cool to have like Rupu guard dogs. Like you can pin them in your zone, and like they're more dangerous to have White Death run around than Rupu turrets are. Like get 10 of those on
True.
you, you're in trouble.
True.
You know, I'd like to see that. I don't want
As long as I
taming
don't
them.
have to
Let's make
tame
that
them.
clear. Yeah,
Yeah,
no
so long as I
taming.
don't have to tame them. I don't want to
No
see taming.
taming.
I do
I'm
want
not
to tame a
doing
little
taming
Jerboa
in
though.
this game. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think right now, have any of you been messing with the glider? Like, do any stuff with it?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I've been,
but yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we love it.
I
I
love
take
it.
a bunch of gliders to every fight. I give them to our enemy, watch them try to use it, and kill them as they face plant.
That's where I'm at with it. I face plant way too much. I still need to practice.
It's almost more like a parachute than a glider, right? Because you can slow it down. It's like if you fling off something, I can like stop myself and then drop on the ship. I can do stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I like it the way it is. It doesn't need to be some high-powered OP thing like where we used to build sky towers and Atlas and like go island to island and all that crap. I think it's pretty balanced the way it is, and I like it. It's fun. And the fact it's cheap where you can give it to all your guild members and stuff is really cool. I like that too. So it's not something that's like, oh, you have to go to the Isle of Nod to get the one feather so you can have one or anything stupid. It's like everybody can have it.
Yeah, I
And
love
it
for
is
scouting.
way better if you get really good at it. It's really good in like conjunction with your grapple, like in the trees on the hard zones. I've got a couple of guys. I'm very terrible at it. Like I took it off after like 20 minutes and said, "Screw this."
Oh yeah, I
But
die all
some
the
of
time
those
on it,
guys
but it's still fun.
But which grapple are you using
Yeah.
though? Are you using the fast grapple?
They
or-
have backpack. I don't know. I have no idea which one they're using, to be honest. But I just know that they have had a lot more success using it in conjunction with the grapple instead of treating it like Matachi was saying, get on top of the tallest rock and jump off and glide around like without stopping. Yeah, that doesn't work nearly as well. But the grapple thing is really good.
Yeah.
I do think the kite sucks though. I don't get the kite at all. I'm like
the kite with the glider, climb up.
Yeah, I know, but I feel it's more effective to spin yourself up with your grapple. To me, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not. It just feels that way.
I haven't messed with the kite that much. I guess you could just like launch it and then swing with it and just gain that momentum.
You grapple to it and then you can go up and
the kite does provide like some buoyancy for your ship though too. You can put it on the nose of things, and it'll help like the ships with long noses kind of go up instead of smashing into rocks.
Falcos with kite noses.
Yeah,
I had one guy try to make a dinghy fly. He got really close to making an airship with a dinghy.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been loving it. I'm still trying to figure out some of the stuff. Like we were using saws to break into like people's barriers and stuff like that. Although I'm a little bit disappointed the saw doesn't really do damage to players at all, or like barely. And like the host station, I've been trying to use the host station, but then someone told me that in the beta or the alpha, the host station used to do damage to players, like a ray, and just damage over time the more you spray someone. But now it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't even push players.
Yeah,
like, I want to
it's
see,
like, yeah,
for example, hold on. I want to see. I want to see the host station being able to push people off, like just push them.
It does push, but it's a very small amount. Like we
Yeah.
tested it a few days ago. It's not like what you would imagine getting hit with the fire hose.
Yeah.
It's like today, like where it knocks you across the like way away now. But it is a little bit of a pushback, and I think it's interrupt swing animation as well.
I don't like how it's on a tower though. I really would like it to be like a ballista or something host station. I don't like the fact it's like on a ladder up in the air. It's really awkward. I'd rather have it be down on the ground if they were going to make it like something like that. So you could like go over to your renters and you could like basically, riot police them. Or push them around at her and it's like, calm down over there. What are you doing?
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're touching on the 1 hour and a half mark. I think meant to go for an hour, but I think I want to end it here. Is there any final statements you wanna? Any closing statements you guys want to give? Omni, Tashi.
No, thanks for inviting me. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of thing. I have hope for this game with the how active the devs are implementing fixes for the exploits, the cheating that's been found. Right, it's a pre-alpha game, and as long as they stay active like that, then I think this game can go far.
I agree. We all know that at least three of us. I don't know Matachi's history with Ark, but at least three of us have a very long history with Ark and all that comes with that. And so, without throwing too much shade, it is so refreshing to find a group of devs who seem to understand and be quick and focused on the right things while still focusing on content, while they're doing both and not just one or the other. It's very nice to see. And yeah, I agree. I'm excited for the future. I want to see what they do with more content. Because right now, I wonder how long this can last, where you log in every day, grind, and then your proxy is not hugely important. Your base is kind of just crafting station, so we just go PvP on the desert. I would like to see it get a little more intricate, but I love it. I'm literally having a blast with this game.
Yep, I can't wait to see the new content. I've never got to see the meteor maps or the worm. They're doing a great job. I just want more now. I'm greedy like that, so give it to me.
Yeah, same here. I've been enjoying the game. I've been having so much fun with it. It's like, I'm just gonna say it on my side, but it is everything that Atlas, in my opinion, should have been in like other survival games that I've been playing over the years. So I'm having so much fun with it, and I hope it devs have more content and optimization and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been fun. Love it.
Agreed.
Anyway.
Appreciate you inviting.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me, guys. Hopefully I can see you guys in the next podcast. Thank you.